Hi, welcome you all back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to file an online FIR against a property which is stolen in Delhi. So let's see the procedure for the same. It's a very simple 5 to 10 minutes procedure and it saves your time to go to the police station. So let's get started. So first thing first, are you a victim of theft or your valuable property is being stolen? Make sure that your property is being stolen and it is not lost. Because if it is lost, then you cannot file an online FIR, but you can certainly file an online missing report for the same. But if you file a lost article report, then there will not be any kind of investigation against the same. But if your property is being stolen, then you can definitely file an EFIR and investigation will be taken against the same. So what's the procedure for the same? Let's get started.
Step one is you have to visit on the official website of Delhi Police, that is delhipolice.gov.in. Earlier it was delhipolice.nic.in, but now it has been amended and it is now .gov.in. And the page that you are seeing right now on your screen is the home page of the Delhi Police Shanti Seva Nyaya. And on the top banner you can see home, about and services. So first thing, you have to click on the services and then you will be redirected to.
This page. Well, in this page, there are certain types of citizen services which are available. You can see the complaint lodging, motor vehicle theft FIR, then theft EFIR, economic and cyber offenses, and there are other kind of reports provided in the same. Well, since we are talking about a stolen item, we'll go directly to the theft EFIR. You select that theft EFIR tab and then you move forward. Well, again, it will ask you two questions that whether your article is lost or stolen. As I have already told you that if your article is lost, then you go to the lost report and there will be no investigation against the same. But if your article is being stolen, then you proceed further with the same. So if you are sure that your article is being stolen, you move on to the stolen report. Then it will ask you that whether you are an existing user and you want to track the progress of your complaint, then you click on the existing user. But if you are filing it for the first time, then you move on and click on the new user. But before filing, it is again warning you that be sure that you are filing a valid complaint and you are not trying to give a false complaint regarding the same, because if you give a false complaint, then it has some sort of a punishment which is provided here, that it extends to a imprisonment of 6 months and some fine as well. So make sure that the complaint that you are filing is legitimate and you are not wasting the time of the police in the same. If you are sure about it, move on to the procedure and click on the new user. After this, it will ask you some basic sign-up details, your name, your email ID, and your mobile numbers. But make sure that you will fill these details very cautiously, because at the end of the day, you are going to get an OTP on your mobile number to verify your profile. So after filling all these details, you will get an OTP. I have shared my screen on which I have got an OTP. Then I entered the OTP and my account was created in this. Well, why I lodged an online complaint? Well, there was some sort of a theft at my home as well. So at that point of time, while I was making an actual complaint, I thought that maybe I'll record a video for the same as well. Well, after entering the OTP, we move on to the next step. Till now, it's very simple steps. And then you will get this public module. In public module, there are five different types of features available. You can file the FIR, you can retrieve the FIR. If the complaint has been resolved, then you can retrieve the final report, you can check the status, or if you have any FAQs, you can check the same. So since we are filing it for the first time, then we'll go on to the register FIR. So let's click on it, register FIR. Again, moving forward, it is asking you few things that you have to be sure about. So let's see what it's talk about. It says that kindly check before running this application that your property has been stolen. You don't know who has stolen it. your suspect is neither your servant or your employee or anyone who is known to you, and no one has been injured during the incident. So these are few things that you have to keep in mind. First thing first, you have to make sure that your property is stolen and it is being stolen by someone who is not known to you. Because if he is known to you, then in that particular case, this application will redirect you to a page and where it will state that this application is not made for such module, where the person who has taken your property is known to you. You can directly go to the police station and make an FIR against such person. So that thing first, ki you are not sure about who is your suspect, then you move forward with this application. But if he is known to you, then you step back and go to the police station for the same. And also make sure that no one has been injured during this incident. Because if someone is injured at the time of theft or robbery, well, then it's a quite serious matter, and it is advisable that you go to the police station and report the same. Because if someone has been injured, there will be some medical examination and other procedures that will be followed. So, if you are sure about all these four checks, then you move forward. Again, it will ask you that whether the suspect is known to you. If you click on yes, it will say that this application does not facilitate online FIR against known person. You call on 100 number and make complaint accordingly. But if the suspect is not known to you, then you proceed further with the same. All right. So again, same question. If someone is injured or not, you say yes, you will be redirected to the page which is highlighted on your left. And if you say no, you can proceed further with the application. Well, now you are sure with everything. You have given answers to all the pop-ups and now basic details. Now we are moving forward with the form that you have to file. Well, it will ask your basic name, your father's name, your gender, country, date of birth, address, mobile number, email ID, any alternate mobile number you want to give, email ID. Make sure that the fields that are highlighted in red, they are the mandatory fields. You cannot leave them blank, but there are certain fields which are not mandatory, like alternate mobile number and alternate email ID. You can definitely leave them blank. That is not a problem, but it is advisable that you fill all the details. It will help your case better. Then you select the nearest police station. First of all, you have to select that place from where your property is being stolen. Then you select the police station near that particular place, then the district, then the date of the property theft, that on which date it was being stolen. Then if you are sure about the time, you can give the time, but if you're not sure about the time, you can give an approximate of the time, that when did you last see that particular property, and then you can move forward with the same. So these are basic details about you or the property where it is being stolen and the time at which it was stolen. So moving forward, then it will ask you that what type of incident was that, whether it was theft, it was luggage lifting, or it was pickpocketing. So what do we understand by the theft? So theft is basically someone has taken your property without your consent, and that amounts to theft. Luggage lifting is generally happens at the railway station, airports, where you have kept your luggage at some place and someone has taken it from you. Pickpocketing is very common in the public transportations when you are moving on to some public places. Pickpocketing is like someone has taken just your purse right from your pocket and you're not aware about it, where it went. Like, so that's how it is. Then place of incident, if you remember, like if you are at the railway station, or you are at the IGI terminal 3, you mentioned that you were at the airport terminal 3 going to this place or coming back from certain place, you mentioned that place name. Then have you seen the suspect while he was taking your particular property? Well, if you have seen that suspect, then you will get an option seen or not. If you say seen, then it will ask you that how many number of suspects were there, whether it was a complete group of people who were involved in this. But if you believe that there were only one person, then you select only one person. But make sure that how many suspects you will write, you have to give a brief about them in the Next page. Then it will ask you, can you identify the suspect? Like that happens most of the time. If you see Indian crime shows, you see that they ask you to, the police will catch some people and they'll ask you to identify that whether this was the person who has taken your property, and you will be asked to identify the person. But sometimes what happens is everything happens so fast and you are not sure about who has taken your property, right? So you have the option whether you have seen the suspects or not. You are not sure about their identity, so you can definitely use that. Vehicle used by the suspect, that how they came and whether they were on a two-wheeler or they were on a four-wheeler. So if I give you my example, in our case, the suspect came on a two-wheeler without a number plate. We saw it in the CCTV in our neighbors. So that's the basic details you're asking about, that whether you have seen the suspect or not. If you have not seen them, then I think the questions below them are not useful for you. But if you have seen them, like you must have seen that in the case of snatching and something, they just take it away from you and you get a basic idea like he was 5 feet or he was 6 feet. So that basic details you can definitely mention in your online FIR. So what's next after this? Suspect details. So let's say if you have mentioned that there were two suspects involved, so you can mention about their height. You can say that he was medium height, he was 5'7", 5'8", or then they will ask you about the age if you are sure about, or you can just give a random number, like he was looking quite young, he may be 25, 26, or he was a minor kid. He was like 15, 16-year old, or he was an elderly person like 45, 40, 50. So that you can tell them. Basically, all these details are to facilitate police to understand the type of crime that is being committed against you. So that you can mention all these things in this particular details. Anything you know about the suspects, you are free to mention here. It is only to facilitate the police to understand your case. So what's next? Let's see. Yeah, but before moving forward, let's say it says that you can add maximum details of those number of suspect as you have mentioned in the previous page. So in the previous page, if you have mentioned that there were seven suspects, you can maximum give details of the seven suspects on this page. But if you have only mentioned one, you can only give details of the one person. Then details of the property being stolen. Okay. So on the left side of your screen, you can see that there are certain items which you can select, like your Aadhaar card is stolen, bank passbook, birth certificate, camera, car certificate, computer includes laptop, mobile phones, or iPad, or any other kind of thing that you want to mention, you can definitely mention here. But let's say ki if your details or the property that is being stolen from your side is not mentioned here, then what will you do? Well, if you can see in the middle here from O, there is an option of others. You can mention that others here, and then you give a complete description of the property in the box that is given here. So let's say in my case, my inverter battery was stolen, so I don't think it is given here. So I selected the other and I written my luminous battery costing rupees. This was stolen from my home. So I gave a brief description about that particular property. So it's not like you only have to select from these only. These are just a basic list that is given to you, but there is obviously an option available for others. You go for others if your property is not mentioned. You select that particular property and you give a brief description about it, and then you give the details of the incident if you are aware about the same. That you went on to the market and in the market someone just pickpocketed your mobile phone, and once you checked it, it wasn't there. And when you saw that some person was running very fast, you tried to catch him, but that person ran away. He moved on to that particular street, and it all happened so fast I couldn't see him. Or I saw that there was some mark on the face of the suspect. So all these things you can mention about the details of the incident in this box. You give a complete story about the incident. It is better you explain your case as much as possible, because as much detail as you give, it will be more easier for the police to understand your case and do catch the criminals. So it is advisable that you give complete details from the beginning till the end in this particular page. So this page is very important. You give the description of the property, you give the details of the incident here, right? Then moving forward, these are some basic details of yours: passport number, date of issue. You want to give them, you give them. If you don't want to give, you can definitely avoid it. You can see that these fields are optional. These are other details. If you want to mention, you can certainly mention, but if you want to leave them blank, that is also fine. Only those fields which are highlighted in the red asterisk are the mandatory fields. You can write about them, and all these details are related to you only. Like, you want to give information about them, you can give them, but if you think that you have already given the sufficient information on the previous pages, then there is no need to give extra details here. If you have something left in your tank that you want to share again, you can mention in this page as well. But if you have nothing, you can certainly go back. So after filling this all, the procedure will be complete. You will receive an email as well as an SMS on your mobile phone that your complaint has been registered with the police station that you have mentioned earlier, that in Thana number this particular area has been registered, and Mr. This person has been appointed as your investigation officer. He'll call you as per the suitable time, and he'll come and investigate the matter. So you can understand that within a fraction of minutes, you were able to file an online FIR without going to the police station in Delhi. Well, I believe it's a very good facility, and it will reduce the burden on the police as well as the paperwork that is involved in it. The process is completely online. You can track the status of it any time. You don't have to go to the police station again and again to check the status of your complaint. And it's quite a simple process. I hope I was able to explain it to you in a easy manner. If you like this video, please share and subscribe. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.